Hey guys, hello. Hi. So today what I'm gonna share with you guys is what are the things that you might want to know, like your rights as an employee if you work in organizations or a company, and the things that you shouldn't do if you're an employee in a company. Right. So let's move on. Okay, number one, guys. So what should you know if, from the Employment Act of Malaysia, it says that employee is actually those who actually earn like 2,000 and below than that, and have a contractual service with an employer of an organization. So there are certain things that you are actually entitled to if if you actually work in a company that which you earn less than 2,000 ringgit. If you're working as an employee, you should get at least 1 day rest for every 7 days that you work. So make sure that you're not being abused or you have to work like full 7 days, and even if you ask for a time off, if your managers or your supervisors doesn't allow you to do it, make sure that you know your rights and exercise it as well. Also, in a week you shouldn't work more than 48 hours. So if you actually work more than that, you should actually question your employer why they actually ask you to do that when it's not inside the Employment Act. For the third one, that you should know that you are entitled for paid leave for Gazette holidays in Malaysia. What do I mean by this is that you should be paid if you take a leave during Hari Raya Haji, Hari Puasa, Christmas Eve, Chinese New Year, Deepavali, and all those celebrations that Malaysia celebrated and put it as a public holidays in Malaysia. Guys, make sure that you know that you're gonna get annual leave as well, and also sick leave depending on the length of service that you've already delivered to your company. And the next one, you should know that you can get a maternity leave as well for the girls and the women out there. And the maternity leave, as per the Employment Act, an employer should actually give 60 days of maternity leave to those who deliver their newborn babies. Even though that there's a recent changes, the government tried to change the rules from 60 days to 90 days of maternity leave, that's actually haven't yet been imposed in the act. So it's actually an encouragement from the government to the public sector, to the private sector, to actually impose those 90 days maternity leave to their workers. So these are actually some of the benefits that you can get when you are working as an employee in Malaysia company. But for those who earn more than 2,000 ringgit, don't you guys worry, because the benefits and the perks that you're gonna get when you earn more than 2,000 is actually inside your employment contract. So make sure what you got in as stated in your employment contract is actually at par with what I've just mentioned just now. And also if you get better than that, then that is your benefits as well. Okay, so for the second thing that I want to emphasize is that about sexual harassment. Do you know that All Women's Action Society has mentioned that 15% of all those complaints that came to them all relate to the sexual harassment that women faced in their place of work. I just want to bring up to you guys, there's a case in the court which called Logan versus Murphy Oil Sarawak, in which a boss is fired and because he has sexually harassed his personal assistant or PA. So what happened was that he said he was unfairly dismissed by the companies when he said that he done nothing wrong. But actually the court has proved that he is guilty of the charge of sexually harassed his personal assistant when he keeps on calling her sayang, sayang and sayang a lot of times, even if he said it when he met her personally or when he's in meeting. She has tried and talked to her boss to not call her sayang, but to no avail that her boss doesn't want to do that. But what he did was that he keeps on giving her gifts on Valentine, and he starts try to hug her and do skinship kind of thing, and he asked her to shake hands with him. But it's not like a professional kind of justice, it's more like when he shakes hand, like he held it for sometimes, like Malay traditions. If you call someone sayang, it's something of like an endearment to someone you love. So it's actually like when a person actually doesn't like that. Well, if you look at the Employment Act, it says that sexual harassment is any unwanted conduct of a sexual nature, whether verbal, non-verbal, visual, gestural, or physical, directed at a person which is offensive or humiliating or is a threat to his well-being arising out of and in the course of his employment. Those out there, you have to be careful not to say people sayang in the workplace because you might get fined because of what you just said. So for the third point is that if you guys feel like you are unfairly dismissed, you guys should actually bring this to the court. Do you guys know that there is a case in which an employee is actually being unfairly dismissed by her employer, and you know what? She got 1.3 million because her employer actually unfairly dismissed her. What happened is that actually let's call the girl A. So A has worked in this big firm for like 24 years. So she started work with like around 1,500 ringgit Malaysia. Her salary now is actually around 25,000 ringgit per month. When a restructuring happened in the company itself, now suddenly this A, the A girl, has a new boss. We call him B. Let's say his name is B. So A and B doesn't really click, and they have like internal conflict, I guess. So A has actually bring this up to the HR, but the HR said to them that maybe they should resolve this between themselves. But it turns out that it becomes darker when actually B has to appraise A for her performance. A has actually been put inside a program for which an employee doesn't perform, and at that time A was actually assigned under C, which C reported back to the B. So what happened is that when there is another appraisal for A performance by C, C has actually asked for advice from B how to appraise the performance of A. I would say that because C is directly linked to B, C has not actually appraised the A performance quite well. So that's why A has been straightly dismissed from the company. A has bring this to the court, and the court says that she was unfairly dismissed because of the company say that A has a very bad performance, but they put A in charge of a major project. This is contradict with what they say. They said like A has bad performance, but at the same time they give her like a very major assignment to do. So this is contradicting. The next point is that A has been working in this big company for 23 years, and she has a very excellent performance and very good work ethics, and this was supported by her colleague as well. So suddenly on the 24th year, suddenly she behaved really badly, and it is actually quite weird that she suddenly wants to act bad in her performance on the 24th year when she already been in the company for a very long time. And the third point on this case is that A and B has a personal spat, and she has bring this up to the HR, and the HR say that to solve this issue by themselves. And so she actually like tried to solve this, but the HR done nothing for this. In conclusion, guys, the company just find like some excuses for terminating this good employee, which is A. So since A intention when she bring this case to court is actually to get her own position back in the company, the court says it is not actually a good move for her to move back to the company. So what they did was that they asked the company to compensate her based on her last monthly payment, and it turns out that she got 1.3 million ringgits, guys. Suddenly she became a millionaire after she was dismissed from these big giant companies in Malaysia. Okay guys, so for the fourth point is that you guys should know that you shouldn't be discussing your salary with a colleague. So actually, when you actually enters into an employment, you should know that you're also signing for NDA, which stands for non-disclosure agreement. So actually, the salary actually is actually part of a confidential things that you shouldn't talk about with your like your colleague, your best friends, or like your family members in which you are very close to. Maybe that is okay, but when you say it out loud to the people around in your offices, um, this might cause those people to actually ask HR to actually increase their salary at the par with yours. So do you feel this will cause conflict in the company, because the company might actually compensate you based on your performance. So you guys should be very careful with this, and do not disclose your salary with your colleague in the office. Okay guys, so I hope that would actually give you guys some information on what you actually should get as an employee in Malaysia, and things that you shouldn't do when you are working with an organization. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will give credits to asklegal.my for all the informations that is very useful and very easy to understand, as well as you guys can go there and search for current cases and in which relates to employment. If you guys have any issues, please feel free to comments below, and I'll make another video of it. Okay, right, okay, see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye.